We think this will be the first of many. Second-seeded Spurs hosting the Blazers came out in the all-blacks, courtesy of Kelly Olynyk. Little gift to get the postseason started for San Antonio. And how about them starting with defense? Get the stop at one end, and then Wemby. Whoa. Come on.
Crazy.
That spin, you got the two greats in there, David Robinson, Tim Duncan checking it out, and neither one of them could do that. Wemby from Dylan Harper off the alley-oop. And just like that, the Spurs are up 9. In the second, Denny Avdia, little floater. He had 30 points. Blazers were down just 7 after the made free throw, but then Wemby dribbles into a corner three. 21 points in the first half. That's the most in a player's first career playoff game in a half in the play-by-play era, which goes back to 1997-98 year. So they were up 10 at the break. Third quarter, Stefan Castle to Luke Cornett. Teamwork makes the dream work. San Antonio starting to pull away. Julian Champagnie, that's a wide open three. And then all of a sudden, it's a 15-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And then when you got to the fourth quarter, you had Wemby. And he was doing all the things as usual. In traffic, getting fouled, didn't matter. Makes that one. And then from distance, it's just unfair at times to see what this dude can do. And considering how young he is, this is third year in the league, his first playoff appearance, and the Blazers could do nothing. 35 points. Spurs win at 111-98. They take game one, and Wemby gave a lot of credit to the fans and the atmosphere there in San Antonio.
It's great to see this many people wear their shirts. I love the animation when they say, wear your shirt. You should absolutely wear your shirt if you're coming to the game. It is honestly different. The first time I stepped on the court, even for warm-ups, I felt the atmosphere was different. Everybody's ready. I mean, the fans were ready. It's probably the most excited I've seen this arena.
I mean, considering what he's already done in his young career and even this season, there's no reason to think he would not have balled out in his first playoff game. But check this out. He's the first player in NBA history with 35 points and 5 threes in a postseason debut. His 35 points, by the way, the most by a Spurs in their debut, passing Tim Duncan back in 1998. All right, Perk, or as some people like to call him, the percolator. Playoff Wemby. He has now arrived. The anticipation was there, and he more than exceeded what we would expect him to do based on what he's already shown us.
Eves, you know our first time working together. I still use your term, what you use, as expected. As expected. This is what we expected out of Victor Wembanyama tonight, and he's never going to disappoint. Look, the 35 points, that's cool, but it's the leadership for me, right? It's the dominance. It's his approach. It's more to this than this game one performance. This was a statement to the rest of the league to show you that I'm here. I hear all the chatter about the inexperience or the lack of experience, but we're ready for this moment. And when you think about Wemby, the growth of this season is he found that balance of being a big man with guard skills. Right? At first, he was battling if he wanted to be a guard and then take it down low. No, I'm going to dominate first down low offensively, and then I'm going to show you I got range on this three-point shot. And this is why I picked the San Antonio Spurs to win it all this year, is because the growth of him and his maturity.
That would be ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
but
that would be.
Right. You could see that team winning it all, that's for sure. All right, let's swing it east. Another game one, Magic and Pistons. Detroit's first time as the 1 seed in 19 years. But it would not go well for the Pistons. Perk, Paolo Banchero playing really well right now.
He did, and I actually called them out to play better. Even when they lost the play-in game against the 76ers, and he has responded in the playoff game against the Hornets and tonight. The physicality. This series is going to be a brawl for it all. Two well-coached teams that head coaches preach physicality.
Cade Cunningham, he was really the guy who carried the Pistons.
The only guy.
Down. Banchero, tough shot. He had 23. Magic up by 4 at that point. Next possession down. Wendell Carter Jr. muscling up inside. The Magic up by 7 after 3. The Pistons made some runs at him, never could get there. Cunningham trying. He had 39, the most in the opening game of the playoff series in Pistons history. But the Magic just flat out the better team on Sunday. Franz Wagner finding Jalen Suggs. There he is, up top. Yep. And the Magic win this one. Pistons 11th straight home playoff loss. That's the longest streak in NBA history. And the Pistons didn't just lose, they lost, and they never led in this one. Orlando, the first 8 seed since seeding began way back in 1984, to never trail in its playoff opener. The last 3 times the Magic won game 1 of a playoff series, however, they lost the series. All right, we're back with Perk. Not a lot of people saw this coming.
No.
The Pistons fight all year for home court, and then they cough it up in one game. What concerns you about this Detroit team right now?
Well, it was 2 things that happened tonight. Number one, they got punked, okay? And we don't see a team that hang their hat on for its physicality and on the defensive side get punked like they did tonight. Number 2, it's been a concern of mine all season long. Who's going to be that second option / Robin to Cade Cunningham? You got to feel some type of, way if Cade scored 39 and you lose this game at home. Is it going to be Jalen Duren? Is it going to be Tobias Harris? My concern with Jalen Duren is a lot of his action throughout the course of the regular season came from either pick and rolls or pin downs when he was slipping to the basket. It was never him being featured in isolation. And so when you think about what they had last year, Beasley, Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr., they had shooting. They had guys that could come in and give you 15 or 20 points along with Cade doing this thing. If Tobias Harris or Jalen Duren don't up their game offensively, then it's going to be a problem in this series for Detroit.
JB Bickerstaff and the Pistons, they're going to have a couple days to think about it. Game 2 is until Wednesday with the NBA schedule.
Film session.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
We got plenty more with Mr. Perkins. We're going to take a look at the Thunder and that dominant start to their postseason as well. That's later on SportsCenter.
Yeah, plus
17. As for the Blazers, now 3-13 across their last 16 playoff games. But more about this alien. Historic. Victor Wembanyama dropping 35. That's the most points ever by a Spur in his first career playoff game, and he does it passing a legend in Tim Duncan. Listen, some players just make their playoff debuts, but Victor Wembanyama, he made history in his. And now we bring in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, you already know where I'm going with this one. We got to start this conversation talking about what we saw from Victor Wembanyama making his playoffs debut. He finishes 5 of 6 from distance, over 61% from 2 for a 35-point night. That's the most points by a Spur in their playoff debut ever. What did you make of his announcing of himself in the playoffs?
Yeah, when you pass Tim Duncan on any list, it's a good night for you, right? And he looked phenomenal, and this is what we expect. And the crowd's chanting MVP, and he was named a finalist today. He's not going to win that award. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year, which is announced tomorrow. But what a season for him. And this beginning here, we talked about how he doesn't have any playoff experience. The Spurs, by and large, don't have any playoff experience. Neither do the Blazers, really, outside of, say, Drew Holiday. But this is all sort of learning on the fly for the Spurs. And the first test they passed with flying colors. They looked really good tonight. Victor Wembanyama looked really good. I wonder, Kiana, there's a big chunk of the third quarter and the fourth where they didn't really even need him, right? He just was sitting on the bench because the Spurs ended up padding their lead. Imagine if he wanted to go for more than that. He could have very easily put up 40, 45. So great first playoff game for Wemby.
Yeah, no playoff experience, no problem, at least from what we saw in game 1 from the Spurs. But they did come into this game with a business-like mentality. The entire team showing up pregame in black suits. Kelly Olynyk initiating the idea, but saying that this is because the Spurs mean business. But what stood out to you most about just how this young team was able to deliver?
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, one, I love the team camaraderie. Everybody wearing the black suits, love that. Planning to bury the Blazers, the poor Portland Trailblazers. The defense, especially, I thought was excellent tonight. I mean, look, they were 3rd in defensive rating this season, the best record since the All-Star break. No playoff experience, and the moment didn't seem too big for them, right? They just did what they do, which is play great defense and run through their best 3 guys. Wemby had 35, but Fox had a great game tonight, and so did Stephon Castle, who could also end up making all defense along with Victor Wembanyama. And then beyond that, the one other thing I wanted to flag here is just the disparity in three-point shooting. I mean, the Spurs have shooters, and the Blazers very much do not, right? The Blazers shot 26% from 3 tonight.